Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Rock Shop with Ralph, your source for all things entertainment. Tonight on the show, we have Johnny Potenza. Got his start in the music business as a drummer, over 20 years in the business. Made the transition to a talk show host. He was Johnny P in the rock world. Now he's known as Johnny Potenza, the host of Up Late with Johnny Potenza. Johnny Potenza or Johnny P, whatever you want to call him. I'm going to call you Johnny. I'm going to call you Johnny.
Over there.
I'm going to call you Johnny.
I was trying to do my Tony Soprano with imitation. There he is.
There he is. Yeah.
How you doing? Thank you, Ralph.
Conserve. You got to conserve. Buddy. Conserve. Tony, the ice, it melts.
That's one of my, I love that series.
Right? You love that. Well, we can talk about that right away, but we'll get into that. See, I got my Sopranos. I always point it out. My Sopranos picture, Goodfellas, Rocky.
You got a lot of cool stuff there.
Yeah. We and we're going to talk about how many Sopranos actors you had on your show.
And you have a Kiss poster on your left, on the poster is my right, of the photo shoot of the first Kiss album. That was,
absolutely. And that's
where'd you get that, for the Kiss Expo or the Kiss Convention?
That's a first print, brother.
Yeah.
I think I got print.
One of those somewhere.
That's worth some, it's getting there, but that's a first print.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's from the first album, first photo shoot. So listen, you're not going to question my accent because mostly everybody questions the accent. Queens, Ozone Park, born and bred. I know you're from Brooklyn. So yes. We're going to say the tradition. This is how we start off, Johnny. How you doing?
How you doing? But yeah, I'm originally from Brooklyn, born in Bensonhurst, grew up in Midwood, and then I moved to Staten Island, not by choice, when I was 12 years old. My father wanted to make a better life for us. But he moved us right into Gangsta Central, which was fine with me. I had a great time in this neighborhood. I still love the neighborhood. It's great. Right.
I mean, you can't, you're still in New York. Most people, when they leave New York, they always have that saying. You could take the New Yorker out of New York, but you can't take New York out of the New Yorker. Because
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no matter where you go, that accent, and like me and you talk now, we're going to say, what accent? What are you talking about? But when I interview people, I've interviewed people as far as France and England, and they're like, your accent is so funny, and I'm like, what accent? What are you talking about,
Yeah, the West Coast of Florida.
Yeah.
People they love the strong New York accent. But like I was saying before, this neighborhood's still great. A lot of Italians, Irish, all American neighborhood. Only place I would be until I move off of Staten Island, but that's in the near future. So what do you got for me, Ralph? Talk to me.
What do I got for you? I got anything you want, buddy. I'm wheeling and dealing here. I'm ready. I'm firing all cylinders. I interviewed Stephen Pearcy from Rat a couple hours ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was last minute. I'm not dropping names. I'm just saying, that's what I was doing. And then I told my wife, she's like, all right, we're going to bed in a little while. I said, no, I got Johnny P coming on.
That's it.
She said, Johnny P, the talk show host? I said, absolutely. So a little happy about that.
Well, I'm in good company today with Rat. So
yeah, it was last minute. I got a call. They're like, can you do Stephen Pearcy? I'm like, and my son, God bless him, I was taking him to see Ghostbusters. We were on the way there, and my son, he's just like me. He loves music, loves movies, loves the show, wears my shirt all the time. And I was on the phone, and they said, can you do it? You got 15 minutes. And I says, what do you think, Sal? He says, yeah, go ahead, Dad, do it. That's how much he understands. And we made plans. I took him for a slice of pizza. He was happy. And we went, and we're going to see Ghostbusters next week. He told me to do the interview. So I banged that out. And then we got you tonight. And tomorrow's our 1-year anniversary show. Anyway, this is your interview. It's not mine.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
When you invite me on your show, then you can interview me.
We're going to have to pull the cane out on you.
Well, I was telling when I advertised your show, I says, 2 Italians from New York, I'm sure there's going to be a lot to talk about because you know what they call us, right? The cacchiones.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have a lot in common besides the great looks. You're a drummer as well as me.
And I didn't even know you played the drums. That's good.
Yeah, I'm a drummer. I've been drumming for 35 years. I drum and I sing in a band as well, cover band. I was in an original band. You got your start in drums from Harry Chapin's father, Jim Chapin.
Well, I didn't get my start with him. I started playing drums at 12 and took lessons in local music stores on Staten Island. And then did a couple of years, started jamming with people, got into a band with a bunch of older guys when the drinking age was 18. And I started playing bars right when, almost before I turned 16 years old. Years later, when I heard Peter Criss was taking advanced lessons from Jim Chapin, and Jim Chapin did a couple of seminars that I went to, I wanted to do advanced lessons with Jim Chapin. So then that's when I hired him, and he used to come to my house every couple of weeks for about 6 months and give me like a 3 to 4 hour lessons. He was great. He used to pay him, and he didn't want to eat, but he always wanted a bottle of scotch.
Nice.
I think it was either Dewar's or Johnny Walker.
Are you serious?
And,
16 years old? You give him a bottle?
My father would, and then and then we'd keep the bottle for the next time he came. But he taught me a lot of stuff with triplets and the molar technique, and a lot. It was, I loved Jim Chapin was the best, and he ain't with us no more, but his memory will be alive forever. Right.
So tell me, you had over 20 years in the business. What was your specialty? What'd you do? You play in bands, manage what? Give the fans a little bit of an idea what you were doing.
A little bit of everything. It was actually from, over 20 old, probably 25 years from when I started playing in bands, that I actually backed away from trying to make it to be a rock star. That was my dream. But I mean, I knew a lot of the big promoters from Staten Island and New York, so I learned a lot from them. And then I had my friends managing and promoting the band, and I learned how to promote it. And as time went on, I had a piece of everything. Because, as great as musicians are also very hard to deal with. And then keeping a band together is probably one of the hardest things to do in the length amount of time that you're playing with them. And that's people that stay together for a long time. That goes to show, you got to work with the guy. But the longest band I was with was NYB. That was 10 years. And before that was Barrage. That was 5 years. And then we opened up for a bunch of big acts, Dee Schneider and members from Guns N' Roses and blah, blah, blah. But the ones that mainly gave me the push to try to make it in the business was Peter Criss and Ace Frehley from Kiss, our favorite band. And
awesome.
We got to open up for them, and we didn't even deserve the spot because of a lot more better bands than us. But it's like what is it?
Not what you know, it's who you know.
Yes, it's who you know. And I knew the promoters who was doing the thing, and they gave me the gig. So we wound up opening up for Peter 2 times and Ace 2 times, and that's how I got hooked up with Richie Scarlet as time went. I mean, I met Richie years before that, but once we opened up for him, Richie was like, wow, and he's like, what's your plans? I would love to make an album. He says he produces, and I go, would you be interested? He goes, send me, a demo. So I sent him a demo. He liked it, and he agreed to work on it. Then right when we were about to go in the studio, that band broke up. Me and Barrage and me and the guitar player started NYB, which was the Johnny P project. And then we started going to the studio the spring of 1995, and then we didn't have a singer. And Richie Scarlet said, Richie talks like this,
talks
man.
Like that, I know.
Yeah. He goes, I got a great singer from Connecticut, man. His name is Doug Palmer. And I saw a picture. He looked like he was right out of the 80s. And I go, could this guy sing? And I heard it. He sang. He heard the stuff. He came down to the studio within a week, and we started laying down tracks. And then it was history, NYB history after that. And just, the music business is tough. It's tough. And then right after that, a year later, Kiss got back together. So
96.
Yeah. So Peter and Ace went back to Kiss, and then Richie went his own way. And all the other guys, Mark Montague from Peter's band. And as time went on, we brought in Mark Montague in the NYB recording sessions and writing sessions. So the NYB second album had Richie Scarlet playing on it, besides writing with me, and Mark Montague playing on it, writing a couple of songs. So Richie and Mark played and written on 2 songs, and then Richie produced the whole thing. And, Richie brought us to our potential. Without Scarlet, NYB would have never sounded the way it did. He worked us hard and with a gentle hand, but he was tough. But he made the best out of us. And me and Richie are like brothers today. I mean, Richie's well liked in the industry, so he has a lot of brothers.
Yeah, awesome. There's 2 things in that story I don't believe. Number one, I don't believe that musicians are very hard to get along with. I don't believe that. You know, they don't suffer from, especially the singers, they don't suffer from LSD, lead singer's disease.
I know, egos.
And secondly, I can't believe that you know a lot of Italians that are nightclub promoters. I don't believe that. Or managers. What are you kidding me?
I wish I was born in the Frank Sinatra days.
Imagine that. Money under the table, you know the whole deal. Payola.
Yeah.
Right? But that's funny. Yeah. Isn't it fun? I mean, you know, you think about snapshots of your life and the trajectory that it took. You were on one trajectory. You figured, all right, I hooked up with Richie Scarlet. You know, I know Ace and Peter, and I'm going this way. And all of a sudden, Kiss says, hey, guys, come here. And they go this way, and you go, you know, you're that way. You went a totally different direction.
I'll show you these, and I'll tell you what was great. Only great thing, one of the great things about that, well, this was the first album Richie produced. It was an EP, and we had two singers on here. And I actually sang a song. And I'm not really a singer, but at the time I was able to do like the George Thorogood sound. But we had a guy named Mike from Screaming Broccoli singing an alternative song. And then we had Doug Palmer sing a rock song. We were going to decide whether we were going to go alternative or rock. When I'm going with what we were born to do was hard rock. We weren't alternative guys. And then it took like 7 years after that to get this record out.
Just to get that.
The full-length NYB record. That was due to funds, a lot of money.
Well, you suffered from the Italian disease.
Listen, yeah.
Funds alone.
My guitar player going into rehab 3 times. And and it's common knowledge. I'm not making fun of him. He's my brother. Johnny
Right. I know.
It's rock and roll.
Yeah.
And then Richie was on tour with Sebastian, Mountain. So juggling everything took a long time. And there's a 20-page booklet. It's just like what Kiss packaged. I try to recapture with NYB, and it's very cool. They still sell it on iTunes. I think we sell about 5 a year now.
What does NYB stand for? Does it stand for anything?
That means
none of your business.
That was my philosophy in life. None of your business.
And where are you?
I'm that good-looking guy.
Wow, with the shirt open?
Yeah.
An Italian with a shirt open? I don't believe it.
I'm Johnny P.
Holy
I'll
crap.
tell you a story where I can't get arrested for it. That NYB was painted on the I painted it, spray painted it about 1 a.m. And Johnny Feedback was standing at the corner watching, making sure the cops didn't come. So I sprayed it, got the idea from the Warriors and Twisted Sister.
Right.
We did the photo shoot that week. And then there's one cop who was a real tough guy in the neighborhood. He used to walk the beat, and he hated us because we used to put the flyers up everywhere and jam all night long. And he got my number, and they called my house, and they said, if you don't get that off the wall and repainted it, we're going to arrest you.
They scared the shit out of you.
They didn't scare me. I was arrested so many times back in those days, I didn't want to get arrested again.
Right. What are your memories of Ace and Peter? Because, you know, I'm a huge Kiss fan. I interviewed Todd Haworth, who was in with Richie Scarlet.
Nice guy.
Yeah, great guy, great interview. You know, he told me his opinion on them. What are your memories of Ace and Peter?
I mean, I like the original Kiss the best, but when I opened up for Peter Criss on that first show, I thought I was like on my way to being a rock star. But it was also great because Peter Criss is the reason why I started playing the drums. I mean, once I had Kiss in my life, and then I saw Kiss in concert, I always knew I wanted to play. But once I saw the Cat up there, man, I was in 100,000 Years and shit, I wanted to play the drums. And then once we got to open for him, it was like a dream come true. Then my father and my mother were like, what the hell's going on here? You know, because my father took me to see Kiss in 1977 at the Garden, December 16th, a live 2 tour, Love Gun. So my father saw that. And then after that, a couple of years, Richie Scarlet started working with it. And we got us getting more Ace Frehley gigs. And then my old man was like, well, maybe my son might have a shot. And he stopped busting my balls about trying to make it in the business. And once I introduced him to Richie Scarlet, him and Richie just clicked like this. And then that was it. My father started throwing us money for the record label.
Wow.
He was bragging. It was good. I mean, listen, we tried our best and the hardest.
Yeah, people don't realize how hard it is.
Got a great record, not bragging about it, but it's great. But we came out 10 years after all the stuff's been done already, you know, and alternative was heavy. Rap was hitting the scene huge. The kids of America and the world weren't listening to rock that much anymore.
Yeah.
And that's what happened with that. And it was a heartbreak when the band broke up.
Yeah. As they said in Goodfellas, and that's that.
And that's that. There was nothing we could do about it.
There's nothing we could do. What do you mean? He's gone.
Yeah.
He's gone. Yeah.
So, but Peter was great. First time I met him. Awesome. Backstage and at the Rock Palace on Staten Island, actually. And then Lydia Criss came that night to hang out. She kept trying to like hang out with us. And Peter was hanging out with all the guys. And then after a while, Lydia came in and goes, "Oh, listen," I knew Lydia from the Kiss commercials. "Listen, Johnny, I think it's time for Peter to have some downtime with me." He goes, "Nah, let the guys, we're having such a good time here." So Lydia got pissed. And then after a while, we left. And then she was cool. And she never, Lydia is a sweetheart. She never was mad at us. I think she wanted to see the cat. And then that was it. And then when I was leaving, I made him, he signed so much shit. I go, "One more thing." I gave him my drum case and he signed it. And he goes, get out of here. That's it. You got enough money to retire.
Yeah, Lydia's great. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
You know who she's married? You know who she's with now, right?
Fontana, Richie, right?
Richie Fontana. You know who he is, right?
Yeah, he played on the Paul Stanley or Gene Simmons solo album, one of them, right?
Paul solo album, but you know who he drummed with? He was the original drummer in the band Piper, who had Billy Squire. And he was the drummer in Laura Branigan.
Now that you tell me that, I remember Piper didn't they open up for Kiss?
Yeah, they were on Casablanca and everything. Yeah. They just didn't go anywhere because, just like Angel, same thing. They were on Casablanca. But yeah.
There's only so many bands. Listen, after Kiss, once they put the Village People on there, the fucking Village People blew up and out of space.
Well, that's because Bill O'Coin and the gay part of it. I mean, to each his own, but that's the truth.
Bill was a nice guy. I pitched NYB to him at the Kiss. He was over at the Kiss Expos, but he was already out of the game and just relax.
He was on the downward swing. They have a movie coming out about his life.
I know that. A friend of ours, Vinny Pastor from The Sopranos, has a part in that.
Yeah, I know him. We could talk about him. People don't realize you as a drummer. I mean, take what you want about stylistically how he plays Peter Criss. He may be like a Charlie Watts type, like a basic style drummer. Whether or not I could argue the point back and forth with you, but I won't. But people don't realize the influence he had on guys our age.
It's two different drummers. Charlie Watt was never flashy. Peter's is flashy, and he had the rock with a little
bit of a swing
with the swing and jazz in there.
Yeah,
but Charlie Watts is a time clock. Two different drummers. Charlie never did drum solos. Peter did drum solos. Yeah,
as I said, we could go back and forth. But I'm just saying, as far as influence, you can't deny the influence. I mean, there's some drummers that laugh at, "Oh, you like Peter Criss?" No, I got into drumming because of him. Did you? What about Ace? You didn't talk about Ace.
I hung out with Ace a lot of times. I mean, you see, Peter's a low key guy, unless when he's on tour, he goes underground. Ace likes mingling and going out. I mean, no more because he does normal stuff now because he's been clean for a long time. But Doug Palmer, the singer of NYB, who actually plays with Ace's drummer, Steve Warner, Budgie, in a band called Snaphead for like the last decade. After NYB, right towards the end, Dougie started playing with them. They're a cover band, well known. But Ace, all those guys are in the same circle. So Dougie's, Richie Scarlet's birthday was 1997 on July 4th. And Kiss was already on tour. Ace Frehley was coming. I go, "Get out of here. Ace ain't coming." He goes, "Yeah, Ace is going to be here." Ace pulls up in this fucking little piece of shit undercover car. Someone is driving him, and he comes out with this big fucking bag. How you doing? And I was like, "This is sick." And we hung out with Ace plenty of times, but Kiss is back together, the original members. So like being a kid and then getting disappointed when they broke up. I'm in my early 30s now. Kiss is back together. I'm having a band putting an album out and having all this fun. I'm like, it was great. It was a great time. And then all the roadies, Eddie Cannon with Peter Criss went with Kiss, Dean, and then whoever, and Jerry Kink was working with Kiss for a little while. Then they got fired. But Eddie Cannon used to give me all backstage passes, free tickets. I was bringing handful of my friends to Kiss concerts, sitting third rows, sitting third row, side stage. It was a real great time. And we're not making it, just the memories alone. And
those are great stories.
Reunion tour when I was old enough, it was great. Even when I talked to Gene, I showed him this record. He told me, "Son, rock is dead. He goes, I don't want to get your hopes up.
Rock is dead. I invented it. And I own it. Just like the air that we breathe, I own that too.
I felt like I couldn't breathe when he told me that. I go, what about you guys? He goes, yeah, well, who else is big right now? I had to think about it. He goes, Britney Spears. He starts naming all these people and da-da-da. I go, okay, Foo Fighters. He goes, who else has been out? Except the guys from the 70s. And he was technically right. He goes, you know, he told me technically really just to play for your heart, have fun, and don't quit your day job.
Right. I mean, think about it though.
Right.
Look at the bands. Kiss is done. They're retiring supposedly, even though I think they'll be doing one-off stuff. You know, bands like Judas Priest, they're almost out. Black Sabbath is gone. Yeah. You know, Dio gone. You know what I mean? Whitesnake retiring. Motley Crue retired, came back. You know, what I'm saying is those big bands that we grew up on from the 70s, they're all dying or retiring. This really, what band is going to carry that into our, you know, into 10 years from now? Metallica, maybe.
They're going to be around for a while, Metallica. I mean, the Greta Van Fleet, I know, is going on tour with them, supposedly. I like them.
You like them?
They get a lot of bad feedback because I guess the Zeppelin.
Yeah.
I don't think they found their way yet, but I think that they're fucking dynamite musicians, and they do bring back that sound. I see them live, and they were really good. You know, I was impressed.
Yeah. Did you hear that song that I'm sure you heard it because you're friendly with Richie? That song with Peter Criss, "The Catman and the Emperor."
I heard it before it was even out for sale. When Richie put it in his car. He goes, "You got to hear this, man." He goes, "This mean the cat," and he started playing, and I was bugging out. And then that was it.
It's not. It's like it's not around anymore. You know, I heard it, and then it's it stopped. It's like it had a little bit of a push, and then it just died. Promotion
stopped on it for some kind of law, some kind of legal issues.
Oh, but really?
You get the single on iTunes. Supposedly it's a matter of getting a new photo shoot and a new cover on it before they start pressing everything and having it out. Yeah, that I can't get into too much more than that.
Okay, well, now we know why.
Out of respect, but I mean, that's common knowledge what I just said, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
everything's a waiting game sometimes. But one more thing with the Ace thing, when Ace was at Doug's house, he had a demo tape. That's when they were still cassettes out.
Yeah.
And even though they were getting weaved out, they were still giving you like a cassette from the recording studio if you wanted it. So he had a cassette of tracks from Psycho Circus, and he goes, "I got some tracks from the new Kiss album." That's all I had to hear. And I was like, no fucking way. So he brought us inside, literally, Ace Frehley, and we sat there with a bunch of guys, probably a handful of guys, and he let us hear about 3 tracks off the record.
And he only had one on there, Into the Void.
Yeah, but no one knew what was going on.
Yeah, the other ones they rejected.
So he walked away, he left the cassette. I told him, I got the cassette. The cassette's there. So he went back and he goes, "I tricked you." And he goes, "I took it." And he said, and but it was a gas. But he actually lost his wallet that day. He fucking walks around with a wallet like something like a menu from a.
Hey guys, you see my wallet?
Yeah, he dropped the wallet. I was with Johnny Feedback. We were drinking beers wherever we were next to the woods. I'm like, "What is this?" He picked up wad of cash, credit cards everywhere. We were like, "Holy shit, what is this?" And we opened up, said, "Paul Frehley, Ace Frehley." And I'm like, "This is Aces." He goes, "What are we going to do?" And like, I go, "What are we going to do? We got to give it back."
Yeah, what are you going to do? Go on a shopping spree?
Ace Frehley. And so we gave it back to him. And he's like, "Oh, that's where it is." And only thing one thing I could just say with busting his balls, but that's what we were drinking that night, everybody. He didn't even give us a tip.
Oh, shit. That's messed up.
He should have threw us like $1,000 or something. He should have threw us.
Right. And Peter didn't even play on that album. The only track that he played on was "You Wanted the Best, You Got the Best." Yeah, that was the only track on that album that all 4 members played on. Everything else, Kevin Valentine played the drums on it.
That was embarrassing. It was big disappointment.
Yeah, they had a couple of good songs, like the Psycho Circus was a good song.
Honestly, I like the record. The record.
I Pledge Allegiance to the State.
That whole fucking album was really good. But the problem is, it let down to the Kiss fans. That was it didn't make Gene and Paul look too good, regardless how good or bad Peter was playing, they would have got by. You know, it wasn't like there wasn't money to produce it.
Well, tell the truth. When you were growing up, did you know that Peter was not playing on those? You never knew that. I didn't know it. You're thinking Peter's playing on that stuff. Just like Ace didn't play on a lot of stuff. Dick Wagner.
There's a lot of rumors, but I mean, Peter pretty much played on everything up until Dynasty, right?
Unmasked, he didn't play on. Well, Dynasty. He only played on Dirty Living. That was the only track.
That's all I know. But as I said, up to Dynasty, Unmasked, the cat was on pretty much everything.
Yeah. Well, the heyday, the big albums.
Yeah, the first three.
They said yes, he played.
The next three.
You know, Ace. They said a lot of it is Dick Wagner, who played with Alice Cooper, a session musician. A lot of stuff. He played a lot of solos, you know. But I mean, listen, what are we gonna do?
I mean, you could tell if you're a Kiss fan what leads an Ace and what are not, you know. But
it's all debatable.
There's a couple of songs on Love Gun that he didn't play on. There's a couple of songs on Destroy he didn't play on, and I believe there's just a couple of songs on Dress to Kill. But majority of the shit's him. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that like I said, their heyday, you can't take that away. He's the original Catman, the original Spaceman, you know. Whether or not
at the end of the day, us loving Kiss as much, and now we're older, yeah. Now you know why Gina Paul went nuts with them, because they were a handful, and they had the world by the balls, and you know, at the end of the day, it's their fault.
Twice.
I fucked up a lot of my life. It's my fault. You own up to it. I mean, yeah, and like for them to get a second chance with Kiss again, and then.
Fucking up again.
They're all the fault for that, with the money split and hiding the money and paying Ace. All the lies were eventually going to come out, and it caught up to it. But at least we got to see Kiss one last time. It was dynamite, but it just.
There's a saying: what doesn't come out in the wash comes out in the rinse.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
So you decide, I'm leaving the music business, and you transcend into becoming a talk show host. Well, I know there's a lot. We're going to condense it because we don't have a lot of time. Yeah. You know, we're going to give the short version. How did you do that? Like me, this is my passion. I love music. I love movies. I love trivia. You know, I love all this stuff. And this is my passion. Obviously, that's your passion as well. How did you transcend to becoming talk show host Johnny Potenza?
Well, it wasn't in my cards. It just happened to happen. Joined public access television in '97 when I was with NYB to air my band and get more publicity, and because people used to record us at concerts and air them. So I always wanted to learn film editing, so I went, got certified, learned film editing. I saw, and then they want you to do a show. So I had it was called The Gangsters of Rock, okay, and I used to show gangster clips with rock and roll footage. The best of local and national, but most of the national stuff, all the national stuff I got was from management offices. The local people were all the bands that I played with. So then I would show clips of Goodfellas one month and the Bronx Tale and Sopranos, and Richie named me back in the day. I don't go by it no more, but people that know me from back in the day, I was known as the wise guy of rock and roll. Richie Scarlet gave me that name. So that's why I came up with the name Gangsters of Rock. I was like, that's a fucking brilliant name. But it was a super low budget show, even lower budget than what I'm doing now. But it was all easy. You know, you record it, you edit it, and you put it all together, and it's just creativity and imagination, and then you just do it. And I don't even air those shows no more. I maybe have one or two of them up online because I was a different person back then. I was a wildcat, and that was a good stepping stone. But as time went on, the band broke up. Okay, I was out of CTV for a while. I was depressed over the band. My whole life went down. I was like, what am I going to do now? Life starts over again. That's about 6 months later. I met my girl that I was with until she passed was Michelle DeVito. And then we wound up getting engaged. We were together for 14 years, and then unfortunately she passed from breast cancer. Okay, sorry. So yeah, thank you. It's 3 years now. Back on my feet. You never forget.
Right, of course.
The heart is part of your body. But anyway, She saved me from self-destruction from the band business. So from there, 3 years later, I just started. I said, "Look, I wanted to do Late Night with Johnny P, and I just did it. I started it, just doing it for fun, and it started to. After a year, I said, "This is a lot of fun." And then as time went on, I was like, "Maybe I might want to stick with this." And then it just started escalating. And there's no budget behind it. You just the access to the public access station, volunteers, and all the equipment.
That was one of the questions I had.
And then you do everything. But yeah. So what's the question?
No, I don't want to interrupt you. You can go. I was just
going
to ask you.
Because that's a good break.
Yeah, the people that are on your show, the cameramen, the boom operators, caterers. I'm sure you have to have catering there. I don't know if you have that or whatever. Is it all donated? They're donating their time.
This is how it works. You do a show. A porta bump show is like, say, something like this. Porta bump, they used to call it, where you get the camera out, you take it out, you do the edit, and boom. Studio shoots different. 3 camera sets, you need 3 camera guys. So 3 camera guys, you need a floor director or a floor manager, okay? You need a director in the control room to run the board. And then a sound guy has been with me for years, a sound engineer. That's Frankie D'Augusta. He was like a semi-big producer, engineer back in the 70s. His biggest thing was Frampton Comes Alive. He had part of the engineering with that. Wow. But he worked with John Lennon and a bunch of people. But he's retired. I met him years later to a rock artist called Peter Barron, and he started working on my show. I had him on my show first. Then he started working on the show. He's been with me ever since, and he's still with me now. So him, and then I'm a little obnoxious with the production now. So like the last, I say 10 years, I have a makeup artist come in there, I have a photographer that comes in there. Everybody is a volunteer, and they get credits, and they get put in the end credits in the show. And then they actually get work out of being on the show. So yeah, it's a pain in it's a big production. It's a pain in the ass, and it's not for everybody. But I'm that type of guy where the more I have to do, the better I work. But I mean, it also comes to a point where now I need to get the hell out of there and get to a streaming network that's going to pay us.
Yeah.
And then with the catering, it's in the bylines. You got to feed the staff, and then you got to feed your guest. There's people that are cheap that buy 2 pizzas and they buy a box of donuts and they put it out. I have a loyal.
They're not Italian.
Yeah, no. I have a loyal spot. Well, you can't call him sponsors. He donates, but he's our caterer. Paulie Montana.
You give him a plug. This is my show.
Paulie Montana from Nucci's Restaurants on Staten Island, the best.
Another Irish place.
Every month he gives us trays of food religiously. And we had a couple other people that worked with us, but they chinsed out on me. Only the Italians
stay together. That's loyalty.
But it's a lot of work because when you don't have a budget, I edit the show. So the show's like anywhere from 8 to 15 hour edit because we have to stop and take and adjust everything. And then with the bookings and all of that stuff, I took the music business knowledge and I just went with the show. But I made a lot of connections through the years. We're making more.
It's a lot of work.
We had Vinny Pastore on the show. He opened up a lot of doors for us.
Yeah, we were talking about him. He's supposed to come on a couple of weeks.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, that's a good one. Let's talk about some of the guests that you had and going to have because this is right up my alley. I mean, and in case people are just tuning in or just watching, I want you to see the scope of the guest that he had. He mixes it up a lot, but he sticks to a common theme like me with Sopranos and Goodfellas and Bronxdale. Here you go. He has coming up this year. Correct me if I'm wrong. You have Armando Sante.
Yes,
love him. He's made the best Gotti movie ever.
Listen, you can't compare or even be in the same league with the Gotti movie that. Armando Sante was in with the ensemble of people and William Forsythe.
That's one of my favorite actors of all time.
William's a dear friend and a brother, and I'm blessed to have him in my life. He's a great guy. But you can't take away Sammy to both of them. Any other person that tried never could come close.
I got you. And don't forget, I grew up in Ozone Park. So that was one of the best portrayals. Catherine Narducci, who I love, and I loved her.
Catherine's a sweetheart.
Loved her in The Sopranos. She played Charmaine Bucco. She also most recently was Robert, Joe Pesci's wife, Buffalino,
Yes.
in The Irishman.
Yes.
You got Brian Quinn from Impractical Jokers, Q.
Yeah. Well, Q was still waiting on a confirmation with him.
Oh, okay.
No, he's coming on, but Q, you got to get your ass down to the studio. Come on.
Yeah,
man.
I know that feeling, right, Johnny? When they say they're coming.
Listen, Staten Island has to represent Staten Island. I got to stop this.
Oh, that's Q now.
Yeah, right. Staten Island has to represent Staten Island. Don't be like Pete Davidson.
Yeah, what happened? You had him and he didn't show up? He got too big for he's got as big as his teeth or what?
I had Pete Davidson twice on my show, my second and third season. He was 16 years old. And I seen something in this guy. I knew he was going to make it big. I didn't think he was going to make it as big and as fast as he did.
Right.
He's like a household name now.
Yeah.
Not as an A celebrity, but as like almost like pretty much an A-list comedian because he's on Saturday Night Live. A lot of people like him. A lot of people don't like him. That's what the world is.
I know. What are you going to do?
I have a lot of haters. I have a lot of lovers. I have a lot of friends. So listen, I probably have more haters than I got lovers.
Here's all the guys. I'm sorry. Here's all the guys on The Sopranos that he had. And I'm going to go through it. I'll tell you all their names. He had Lenny Vernito. He played Murmur. He was on The Sopranos. Okay. He had Vinny Pastore, who played Big Pussy. He had Lou Martini Jr. You know who he played, right?
He's the best.
You know who he played?
Yeah, no, he played with himself. Who do you think I know he played with?
He played Ginny Sack's brother.
Yes.
The guy with the eye doctor. The guy with the chicory?
Yes.
I love how he tried to talk to Johnny Sack in the codes.
John, that's what he says to me. John, he goes,
John?
Can't hang out with pineapples no more.
Can't hang out with he says,
Lou's a good guy. Lou's a good guy.
Did you pick up the cake?
He's one of the nicest guys in the acting business, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sticking with Goodfellas. You had Al Sapienza, who played Mikey Palmise.
Another great guy.
Right.
Fuck face-itis, yeah.
Fuck, hey, is there any kid? Fuck face-itis.
He goes, hey, Mikey, where's the boy?
Where's the boy?
That was great.
Danny Grimaldi, who played Patsy Parisi, and Spoons, pissed in the pool.
Danny Grimaldi's another gentleman, sweet as pie, and going back to Captain Narducci, totally opposite of the character that she plays in The Sopranos and The Plaza.
She's an artist too.
Beautiful soul, old school Italian. Once I got friendly with her, and I consider her a friend now. Not like we're not Bessies, but she's in my life now. She's a great woman. A lot of fun, and she's authentic. She's like, what you see is what you get with her. She has an open heart.
She was De Niro's wife in A Bronx Tale.
Yeah.
You had. I'm circling back. Yeah, John Ventimiglia, who played Artie Bucco.
Yes. Yeah, John Ventimiglia. He was cool.
Ridgewood native. He's from Ridgewood. You had Robert Funaro, who was on our show. He played Gene Pontecorvo. Yeah, Gene Pontecorvo. You had Artie Pasquale. Now, Sopranos buffs. Who did Artie Pasquale play?
Bert Cavisi, right?
That's right. And how did he die?
He got strangled by little Silvio.
By Silvio, exactly. What's the meaning behind those white loafers? I wanted to ask White for not. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah, that's what the Italians used to wear back in the day.
No, those are decks. I know, but if you notice, they always show like Paulie always when he was packing, he had 6 pairs of white loafers. When Artie Pasquale died, and they were choking him. You see his white loafers were there. That means something. I'm telling you. David Chase uses a lot of symbolism. I got to find out what that meant. I can't put my hand on that. You had Frank Pellegrino.
Yes. Frank came on not as a Soprano guest, but as he was
Rouse. He owned Rouse Restaurant.
Yeah, Rayo's.
I'm sorry, I say Rouse. Right, Rayo's.
He came on with a guy named Anthony Carey, and with this book called The Nappers, and he was involved with it. And who was the other writer? My brain is I forget things at times. Who was the writer for Goodfellas? One of the guys, Nick something?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I just drew a blank. Anyway, I know them all.
Mario,
not Mario Puzo. Fuck.
No. It was
Mario Puzo was the Godfather.
He did the screenplay. People like, look at this guy. He forgets. He's a talk show host.
Yeah, you forgot too. Who the fuck are you kidding?
I'm a reformed street guy that doing what I do. I just got out of high school.
Yeah. This guy put me on the spot. Look at this guy. He forgets. I can remember 500 things. I can't remember one. I'm an asshole. And
I'm bad at punctuation. I mess up a lot of people's names. So it's part of my slick on the show now. You know.
I got you. Yeah, and that's everything with Goodfellas.
You missed one guy
with Sopranos. I'm sorry. One guy.
Couple of guys maybe. Al Albanese. No. Frank Albanese.
No, I didn't have him down.
He played Uncle Patsy in The Sopranos, and he was
yeah. And he played. You know, he played
the lawyer.
He played the lawyer, and he goes like this. Yeah. Counselor, proceed.
He was like an adopted uncle. He used to come to all the shows all the time after that. Always come, and we'd feed him, and I had him at my Christmas parties. He was a good guy, and he passed about 5 years ago.
Yeah, I know. Well, Al Neri. Was the partner, was Al Albanese's the two hitmen that went to see him in The Sopranos. He played him in The Godfather. He played what's his name? Mike's hitman. Anyway, Nick Pileggi is the guy you're thinking of.
There you go.
See, I got your back. Now what are you gonna say?
With no cue cards.
I know it's tough. It's tough. You forget. But also, you had a lot of guys from Goodfellas. Let me go through the guys on Goodfellas. You had Frank Vincent.
He was great. I never had the studio, but I was able to do him at the Chiller, and he was the best.
Now, let's see if you know this. And I know you're going to know it because you're like me. Vito Piccone from The Elegance. What's the connection? What's the connection with Goodfellas?
He played Vito with Frank with Billy Batts with Frank Vincent at the bar.
That's right.
Come on. Go get your fucking shine box.
Right. He was in the big scene. Go get your fucking. He's the guy with the hat and the beard. Meg, it's him without the beard. Oh shit! Yeah, keep him here, that motherfucker. That fucking fake tough guy. He bought his fucking button.
That's a good imitation.
Oh, forget it. It was doing a bank job out in Secaucus, right? I'm in the middle of the fucking weeds resting, and this prick comes over. He says, "What are you doing here?" I'm resting. Here you resting? Came in and asked me all kinds of questions, right? He says, "You're gonna tell me something now, tough guy." I said, "I'll tell you something. Go fuck your mother." Bing, pow, pang. You saw the paper, Anthony. My hair was out there. Anyway, I can go through the whole thing.
I love it.
But Vito Piccone was the singer of The Elegance, and he was in there with Don't get nervous. Don't get nervous.
And he's still in The Elegance. I went to go. He does a show at CTV where we film called Let the Good Times Roll.
Right.
And I used to work camera for his show until I started my show. So I learned how to put a show together, just watching his show. But our show's like on steroids compared to his show. Not to mock Vito, but Vito's a living legend in the music business.
Of course.
From the 50s, little star. And they're still playing the band, who's ever left. They just did 63-year anniversary recently over
63 years. Imagine that.
And God bless him. Vito he's like 81 now.
Wow. And he's still going.
Yeah. And,
I'm just reading off some things.
He's just a good guy, Vito. A lot of stories with Vito Piccone. Me and him are the Italians at Staten Island Community Television.
Well, I'm going to go through some of the actors that aren't in the gangster-related movies that we love.
And listen, it ain't all with me being just saying I'm going to interview these guys.
Right. Well, listen, I get you. Same thing with me. It seems to fall into you like Italians and you like gangster movies.
You know.
Well, look. Here, you had Davy Jones from the Monkees.
Great.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You had Shirley Jones from the Partridge Family.
Yes. I was a big Partridge Family fan, I'd admit, you know, growing up. David Cassidy, I mean, how could you not like him?
Right. You had Kathy Moriarty from Raging Bull, Copland. I mean, countless movies. I want to ask you about Theresa Moriarty.
Oh.
Any relation?
Honestly, I don't know.
It looks like her.
I gotta see.
We'll get back to that.
I'm actually going to be talking to her tomorrow.
Yeah,
but she's been busy. But she's going to be on the show this week. Yeah, she's a real sweetheart.
I'll get back to that when we end the interview. We'll talk about the new show. You had Donnie Most and Anson Williams from the Happy Days.
That was a lot of fun.
Ralph, yeah. How are they? Ralph Malph and Potsy.
Two different characters. Took a little time for Anson Williams to like loosen up to me because we're like, I guess definitely two different personalities until Donnie Most, which he invited me to his show a couple of times, and we connected on Facebook. I'm friendly with him. Like we're like entertainment friends. You know, I never really got to hang out with him except backstage when he played, but he's very, very cool. And when we did the interview, he got Anson to do it with me, and then he finally did. He had a little bit of an attitude, but I loosened him up. And then I said, yeah. He goes, and I said something to me, and I said, yeah, I'm like the modern day Fonzarelli in my neighborhood. He goes, I don't think so. He said.
Oh, Anson Williams said that.
He said that, yeah. So I laughed because it was funny, and but yeah, Donnie Most is like the nicest guy you ever meet. Anson was pretty cool too, but
I met Henry Winkler. Henry Winkler was adult. Henry Winkler was nice.
Nicest guy you'll meet,
right?
Henry Winkler. I never got an interview with him, but I met him at Chiller, and he took his time to talk to everybody.
So soft spoken, right?
Yeah.
Then you had here's what I wanted to ask you about. You had Bobby Brady, Mike Lookinland,
and Susan Olsen.
I didn't have Susan Olsen down, but you had him. I mean, you run the gamut, and these are only the ones that I wrote down. Well, you also had musicians. Yeah. You also had musicians.
I want to make it we have an entertainment variety show. That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah. So
it kind of goes all over the map for me, and I like to have everybody on, but I'm not at that level where I can do that. If I had the status and the back end, we'd have everybody on.
Right.
And who's New York accessible, who's this, who's that. There's a lot of actors that if they like you, they'll come on. A lot of them steer away from public access television, which I get it. I know a lot of people that I got lucky enough and fortunate enough to get these great talent that's been on the show. And we have to get to, as I said, we got to get to the next level now, because I could stay where I'm at now forever. And there's a chance that I might stay at this spot forever, but I want to make this a career that's going to start paying my bills, and I could give up construction and really kick ass. I mean, I always wanted to bring back the Rat Pack and live like those guys. And I have an entourage of people that we do work with, and you got to have a circle. But the entertainment business is tough. What I do, there really ain't that much competition, but it's so hard to get to where you need to go. Doing the studio show. It seems like everybody now, as yourself, and I could have jumped on the Zoom wagon. I just like the audience. I like the people to be there in person. I like to be able to like get dressed up in a suit and have a band there and
give them the old tap on the shoulder. Hey, listen, I got a question for you. You want to tap?
Yeah, exactly. I like that whole vibe of the entertainment variety show. I'm a big Johnny Carson fan. Which once I got probably one of the best guests that a lot of people won't know, except people our age or in the entertainment business, was Joe Franklin.
Oh, and you had Kreskin on too.
And Kreskin, yeah. But at the end of the day, Joe Franklin's more popular than Kreskin, but Kreskin is world known because Johnny Carson made him.
Right. And Joe Franklin, we all know our age, I don't know how old you are. I'm 51.
Yeah.
I was a kid on Channel 9. Joe Franklin was on late at night. And this little old guy interviewing all these friggin' people, big stars. But it was like this little show that was on. What time was it on? 1, 2 in the morning?
I lift the joy. Yeah, it was on late. And then it was, then he went to 9, and then he was on, I think, 11 o'clock. But
yeah,
I never liked Joe Franklin. I told Joe this, and after we met, we got to be friendly. Because he was too dry for me. He was more like, because he was very educated. Johnny Carson had the personality,
right?
And the goofs. Joe Franklin was like an encyclopedia of entertainment, and I didn't get to appreciate him until I got older. I didn't get to appreciate him until I got to know him, and then before I got him on the show, then I started looking into him, and then I said, "Wow, this guy really has a lot of background." And he started the talk show host,
right?
And then he came on the show. And I got to get very close with Joe, and I used to go talk to him on the phone, and he actually mentored me. And
awesome.
Then he got sick.
Yeah.
We actually had him and Big Ange on the same show. Big Ange from the Mob Wives.
Rest in peace on her too. She passed away.
They both wound up dying of cancer.
Yeah.
It was surreal, and that's that show won us an award with the Public Asset Network. It's called the Nova Award. I saw Joe 2 days before he died in the hospital. He was at Mary Kettering or whatever it is called.
Sloan Kettering.
But it's Sloan Kettering, but it's another outlet of it. It's called Mary Kettering, Mary something Kettering, and that's where they put you in hospice before you die. So no one knew where he was, but a personal friend that worked with Joe told me to go visit him, that Joe was asking for me. He asked for a lot of people, but there were only certain people that he saw. I kind of felt privileged to do it, but it was scary seeing him because he was crawled up in the bed. He was very sick.
Yeah, it's tough.
He was like, "Hey kid, I'm not doing that good, right?" I go, "Joe, you'll be out of here. You'll be fine, man." He goes, "I had a good life." He goes, "You do what you got to do, and let me get some rest." And I was like, "All right, Joe, I love you, man." I gave him a kiss on the cheek and left, and he died 2 days later, man. It kind of hit me. It hit me hard because it just did.
It's tough.
But he'll be with me forever, Joe.
Yeah, and he like you said, he was your mentor, and he talked. I'm sure there's private conversations you don't want to talk about that.
He gave me a good endorsement on the show when he was on it, and I wasn't expecting it, and I kind of got a little blushed and I got shy when he said it. He said something like, he goes, "We need new talk show hosts, and blah blah blah." The hundreds and thousands that came and went. He goes, "You got this like personality, this shine." I got all embarrassed, didn't know what to say. I was about to stutter. And he goes, "Let's give it up for Johnny." And everybody started clapping. But yeah, he made me blush. And I didn't realize it until a couple of years. People were like, Joe Franklin gave you an endorsement right on your show. I never even took it as a grain of salt. I actually sat on it. It's like, yeah, Joe Franklin gave me an endorsement. It was nice,
Awesome. Just a couple more questions I got for you. Now when you're booking your guests, like Vinny Pastore, Kathy Moriarty, they're coming in the studio. Do you have to have them around that area, and do you have to provide transportation for them to get there? Are they? We know they're not paid.
It's you got to make them an offer they can't refuse. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How? I mean, you don't have to tell personal details. All I'm saying is, how do you get them there?
It's the way you get it, and any advice I could give anybody that would want to get them. You got to be, you got to make your way around places. You got to support them at plays. You got to support them at events. You got to go to Chiller Expo. You got to go to Comic-Con. You got to know, it also helps to know the people that run them. I was lucky enough to Richie Scarlet hook me up with Kevin Clement from Chiller. They treat me like gold every time I go there with VIP and press passes. Right. Our old buddy Richie Rano, who ran all the KISS conventions, got me into the rock scene with all the other stuff. And then you just got to be around. You got to show your face. You got to meet people. You got to be genuine. You can't bullshit people, and you got to just show them your true colors. Me, I tell you straight out. Yes or no, go fuck yourself, or come over for my house for dinner. And I guess they liked my my honesty and my integrity, and
I got you.
I got lucky. As I said, it's like an olive branch. Once they see a couple of name actors come on, the rest follow, because they all know each other.
Yeah, they'll say, "I was on that show. He's a good guy,"
Exactly. And then, it's a lot of legwork and a lot of stuff. And sometimes you don't get guys on the show for a couple of years. Like Marky Ramone, love the Ramones. Took me 4 years to get Marky into the studio from all the time. And he gave me his number. Years before that, I had to wait till his book came out. And then when he came on, it worked out perfectly. I put him on my 100th episode, but Marky Ramone was a great interview. It was like easiest guy to talk to.
I find it's always the people that I've doing this a while now. Like I said, 70 interviews this past year alone.
That's great.
So thank you. So some of the interviews that I was so prepared. I mean, I'm always prepared, but that I was looking so forward to. And you get like a letdown on some of these people. You're like, man, what a drip this fucking guy was. You know what I mean? Guy was a fucking drip. Or the ones you're like, all right, I'm doing the interview. We'll talk about this, talk about that. They turn out to be great interviews. You never know. But I try to treat everybody the same with respect, same enthusiasm. I always say, you can't deny my enthusiasm because I'm a fan first and foremost, And that was a question I had for you. Now, do you have a contract where you had that studio for a certain amount of time, months, days, years, or it's a week-to-week thing?
Yeah, anytime you get hooked up with a public access station, and there's a public access station all around the United States, all around the world, for the public, for the people, by the people, and anyone could be in public access. But if you start doing a show and you commit yourself, you got to commit yourself. It's either weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. People say, oh, why don't you do a show every week? Why don't you do a show 5 days a week? I would love to do that if I was getting paid.
Right. And where you get all the other people that have to get paid.
I'd be in the street if I was doing that every day. So I do a season a year, which could be anywhere from 12 to 14 shows. It gives me enough time for I can support myself. But it does. It's like a well-oiled machine. You have to constantly do it in a rotation with everything, from the editing to the book and to the social media to the art director, over and over and over again. As months go by, I usually book way in advance and then leave some spots open for people that want to come in. But if you don't put out new shows and give them shows, then you lose your series. I had a straight 10-year series with Late Night with Johnny P. And then once we started getting getting our name out there, I would take off for January, and I would take off for July, and then double up on the shows. So I got have a month off in the middle of the summer and have a month off right after the holidays.
Right.
And then you have to and you get your sign. And if you lose your series, you lose your time slot, which is a hard to get a time slot.
Right.
My time slots are all different times, and because it airs in the 5 boroughs of New York and it airs in California. So the only thing I can tell people is you go on the website, johnnyptv.com. There's a bunch of tabs for air times. It'll tell you, like in your New York City area or California, what time and where we're airing. But with the magic of social media now and computers and smart TVs, people that don't want to wait, or they just go onto Vimeo.com or onto the website.
Yeah, on YouTube.
And they can just bang it right out there.
Yeah, it's there. That's good. So we're going to talk about your newest show. Is going to be December 2nd. Yeah. You have Lisa Coppola, who's a singer. She's co-hosting with you.
Her name is actually Lisa Coppola, but yeah, Coppola.
Coppola. All right.
She's super cool. She's a country rock singer and producer.
Okay, that's great. You got Joey Callahan. I pronounced that one right? Yeah,
Joey Callahan, excellent comedian, and tours all over the place. Been around for years.
And here's the girl, Theresa Moriarty, who has a striking resemblance to Kathy Moriarty. I don't know if there's a relation, but maybe you could ask her.
I'll jump off the roof if they're connected.
Yeah, she's a actor and a model.
Yes.
And you got Shorty Long and the Jersey Horns.
Shorty Long and the Jersey Horns are great. Dynamite, one of the best party rock bands on the East Coast.
No, my band is the best party rock. No, I'm like,
I got to see them. Shorty Long, he's in a wheelchair. He's a short guy, plays the piano like Stevie Wonder, and he sings very good. He's like a Billy Joel type of singer, and he plays harmonica. He has the whole thing down. So, and he has his band is like almost like a Blues Brothers type of band with the horns and the saxophone. Right. They were on my late night show twice, and I'm bringing them back on. I'm going to be jamming actually a song with them. Nicest bunch of guys you'll ever meet in the world.
Cool. Yeah. And that's what we have. That's good. If you want to contact Johnny for tickets or seating, you go to www.johnnyptv.com. I'm going to put the link for his website on the interview at the bottom of the interview. And that's what we got. I want you guys to support Johnny's show. It's a great show. Oh, by the way, Sal Searchier says hello. He was a guest on your show.
He's fucked up. No, Sal.
That's the mayor of rock and roll, Ozone Park native. He's gonna be on my show tomorrow. I gotta put him on. I'm having an anniversary.
I'm getting a twitch right now. No, Sal Searchier is another sweetheart. The mayor of rock and roll. Yeah, unacclaimed to fame. What is that called? Unsung hero. But yeah, Sal Searchier is a good guy.
He knows everybody. I've seen it. Yeah,
he knows everybody, but they don't know him.
No, he's a good guy. He knows a lot of people.
Sal's a sweetheart. I reach out to Sal every now and then to the Olive Branch. Like he hooked me up with a couple of good guys, like
from the Warriors.
He hooked me up with
Michael Beck. He's friends with them.
I know. I had Michael Beck. And but actually Robert Clough Hesse from Blue Bloods, and he was in Oz. Great, and Robert's a friend now.
And Sal was in Oz, and he's also friends with William Forsythe.
Yeah, William Forsythe. I met on my own dime. I met him at Chilla, but me and Willie are like this now.
Yeah, I can't say enough about him. You know what? Everybody talks about Alpha Justice. Anybody seen Richie? Anybody know why he did Bobby Lupo? You know,
that's a great show.
Yeah,
great
but
movie.
The best movie he was in, and he'll tell you this too, was a movie called Weeds with Nick Nolte.
Weeds
was one of the first movies he did.
Honestly, I never seen it. I got to go check it out. Now, did he have a big part in it or no?
Yes, he did. It was about writers in prison. But you got to check that out.
I got to write this down. I got to check it out.
Yeah, Weeds, Weeds with Nick Nolte. Yeah, and he was just in a Liam Neeson movie. That was good. But what a great actor he is. You know?
Another guy.
And Stone Cold with Brian Bosworth. That was we played the biker. That was good.
No, 100%, man, 100%. Yeah, and if people want to come, we have an open audience, and I want people to come. We welcome people to come, and sometimes people don't even know. It's free studio audience. You just got to get on the list, and anytime I post something, you'll see it. It's uplateaudienceplus@gmail.com. You just send .com. You send an email in. We send you a confirmation. You come down. You hang out with us, and we usually go out and we go grab a couple of drinks or a couple of slices or to the Chinese restaurant after the show. So
awesome. And I'm going to have that link on the interview, Johnny. So don't worry about it. I also have the new show flyer on my page. I put that up on both my personal and my show page.
Don't worry about it.
Forget about it. And then when I meet you personally, I'll do Joe Pesci, whatever you want all night. Joe Pantoliano. I do plenty of imitations, impersonations, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, I want to thank, am I going to call you Johnny P or Johnny Potenza?
I tell people this. My friends call me Johnny, so you could call me Johnny, and you could call me Johnny P. Call me Potenza, but just don't call me John.
Yeah, we're gonna do it for Johnny.
That's it. We do it for Johnny, baby.
Do it for Johnny, man. Start a rumble without me. But anyway, thanks a lot, Johnny. It was a blast.
Thank you.
I'll post the interview, like I said, on both my pages on Facebook and YouTube. By tomorrow, it'll be up. I'll have your website on there. Let's all support Johnny's show and possible future podcast host. That's what he wants to get into.
Well, the podcast definitely. I mean, yeah, podcast definitely. But I want to show. We have a lot of plans for the future. We had a We had a big investor when I came back with the show, with the new show, Up Late. But it was still only like 14 months after I lost my lady. Mentally, I really wasn't there yet. And then we got shut down with COVID. Yeah. So the whole COVID thing, and until now, when we got out, my head is in the game again, and I could focus. You know, I tell everybody I'm like a wounded warrior that got out of war. You know, you wear your heart on your sleeve. You never forget. Right. But you gotta save yourself, unfortunately. And listen, when we go to heaven, we'll see all our loved ones again.
Absolutely. That's what we have to hope and pray for. You know, this is an afterlife. Yeah. Last thing, your shirt. What does that mean?
Oh, this is cool. Anyone who don't know has to know Anthony Rodilla. I always say his name wrong. Both Anthony Rodilla. He's the next big thing. He's an up and coming comedian that is touring all over the place and selling out everywhere. And the one and only Goomba Johnny, radio personality and actor, actually opens up for him. So they're like on a world tour now. It's called The Road Rage. He's best known for the Uncle Vinny videos, if you ever see them online. Yeah. Trending huge, from anywhere from like 200 to 1 million hits on these videos. So check him out, AnthonyVodilla.com.
Yeah, and he's also on your page. So if you go on JohnnyPTV.com, he's on there as well. A lot.
Yeah, we interviewed him. He actually sent me... I texted him. I said, I need some tickets for the St. George Theater. You're in my hometown. So he left me a bunch of tickets at the door with VIP passes. And awesome. We went to go support them, buy shirts. And Junior Goomba Johnny goes, "You're not paying for nothing here." And he threw me the shirt. So
good. I got it. I'll text you. I got a shirt for you too from my show.
Oh yeah, you got something good, extra large.
I don't know, but listen. You know what? I started out. I figured I'm going to have a lot of chubby Italians like me. I got 2X. I had a couple of 3Xs and large. And now all of a sudden everybody wants smalls and mediums. You know what I mean?
My goal is get.
I got to see what I got. I'll get it for you. Don't worry.
My goal is to get back to a large, but the less I've been battling the back and forth.
Well, everybody, you know, go up and down. I've been on a diet for 2 weeks. You know what I lost? 14 days.
I'm on a seafood diet. You know, I got to lose about 20, 25 pounds.
All right, Johnny. It's great talking to you. Keep in touch. You need anything? Call, text, whatever you want. Okay, buddy?
You're the man. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, brother. And we'll talk. We'll have a couple. We'll talk drinks. We'll talk Kiss more another time.
We're going to talk about Kiss next time. You're part of the Uplate family now.
All right. And you're part of the Rock Shop family. Me and you are just like that.
Take care and comb your hair.
My brother says that to me all the time. See you later, Johnny. Thank you.
Good night, buddy.
Bye.